one of my oldest friends in Frost Valley, and struggled a bit trying to come up with something that would be fitting and appropriate. But the thing I chose to hit on was Eric's generosity. He was one of the most giving people I've ever met, whether it was volunteering, his choice of profession, or simply how far out of his own way he would go to help someone he cared about. I decided to talk about his generosity in typical Eric fashion, with some of the gifts that we gave to each other over the years. And typical of Eric, something as simple as a birthday gift had to have a little twist. This all started many years ago. I actually sent him a birthday gift that I thought he would enjoy. Matt mentioned his choice of words after passing Flatus, of fromage, which is French. And I figured with Eric's choice of language there, I thought I would help to broaden his vocabulary. So I purchased for him a CD with the International Dictionary of Obscenities. It had some fairly choice words and phrases in many, many languages. He enjoyed it quite a bit and frequently would share those obscenities with me on the phone when we speak. He in turn decided to reciprocate when my birthday came around and purchased for me a famous CD that Matt mentioned titled Pull My Finger. And we had started a trend. I reciprocated next with a musical comedy album by a fairly filthy-mouthed comedian called Red Peters, who Eric thoroughly enjoyed, and actually sent me a CD of his as well, which we chuckled about. And some of those songs were sung at inopportune moments. Matt could probably describe some of those. I think Matt enjoyed some of those CDs as well. At one point, I got stuck for an idea to reciprocate when his birthday rolled around. And strangely enough, I found out that Pull My Finger had a sequel called Pull My Finger 2. Why you need a second CD of farts, I have no idea. But I felt like if anybody would appreciate it, it would be Eric. At that point, I was coaching a college track team at Monmouth University in New Jersey, and I received kind of a cryptic phone call in my office. Somebody said, "I need to send you something. What's your mailing address?" Never thought anything of it. We got phone calls like this from recruits and people trying to sell us equipment all the time. So I gave the address and didn't think anything of it. Well, about a week later, in an innocuous, unmarked envelope, there was a message, and I opened it. From nooffense.com. It's an anonymous letter, supposedly from a coworker who felt as though my gas was causing a problem in the office, and went on to detail any number of strategies on helping to cut down on my gas output by modifying my diet, some potential remedies, etc. And I had no idea, and it was unmentioned who it was from, which was the best part. Because I'm like, oh my goodness, is this real? And I started calling friends, and I started calling coworkers in a little bit of a panic that I actually had offended someone. And I called Bill Baker, I called Steve Purkis, and I couldn't get a hold of Eric because he was at work, but I called him later that night, and I think it took about 2 seconds of him denying it before he absolutely fell apart laughing. And finally admitted that he had sent it. And he was like, "Didn't you realize it was me calling you in the office for the mailing address?" I said, "Eric, we get so many of those calls, it didn't even register." And he laughed even more about the fact that I had been clueless. One of the things I had considered and finally decided not to do because he was a healthcare professional. I had found a similar website that would send similar sorts of things. And there was one that I thought he would get a laugh out of, but I didn't end up sending it. It was actually an envelope. "Thank you for your donation. We appreciate it. and you open it up and it was from a sperm donor. I thought better of it, considering he is a healthcare professional. It was one of those situations where the generosity, the humor, and the opportunity to make somebody laugh from many, many miles away is something I always appreciated. And when I had the chance to visit with Eric, actually the day before he passed, with some other friends that are here, just sitting around swapping stories and telling lies and reminiscing. At one point, a particularly bawdy story came up. Eric started, and somebody looked up, did that really happen? And while he was struggling for breath a little bit, he kind of lifted his head up and said, I can neither confirm nor deny. And it was such an Eric thing to say, and he had trouble speaking because he was having trouble catching his breath, but if that was the only thing he was going to say, it was about as perfect as it was going to get. I tried to find a way of wrapping this up that would be fitting, and the only thing that came to mind was the fact that Eric, in my mind, and in the minds of many people here who I feel like I can speak for, he was absolutely irrepressible and irreplaceable. I think about him a lot. I'm going to miss him a lot. Another person who couldn't be here asked me to read something. I'm going to do my best to get through it. They're not my words, and they have been translated from another language, so I'll do my best. Eric sweetened our lives to the most, contemplated the stars from the castle in awe, galloped like no one could to rescue us all, anywhere, anytime, turned his life into a supreme and refined work of human art, and taught us how, and danced with all of us to the most beautiful tune, endless love and care. I know a number of you know Lourdes, some of you from social media, some of you from being here. I had the chance to spend some time with her that I think was therapeutic for both of us this summer. I know she would have loved to have had the opportunity to read this herself. They were very good friends for a very long time, and I know that she misses